Hi guys, welcome to our third episode. So there's a specific reason why we're not on screen right now and why my voice sounds a little muffled. So if you want
Yes.
to know why, here's the reason why. Look at me, I am the Panther.
And I, Captain Deadpool.
Yeah, baby. We are the best Marvel DC unit combined.
He's DC. I'm
Oh yeah,
Marvel.
I'm mostly DC.
He's
He's like Marvel,
partially the
Marvel.
only reason why. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm done with my intro now. I'm taking out the gloves and the mask. I
And
can't
I'm
breathe in the
gonna.
mask. Oh my god.
Wait, get out of the way.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So as you can see for today, our theme is superheroes. In regards to my
Specifically, Marvel and DC. So before we get into this amazing, huge franchise topic, we just want to say that we are not complete experts. So whatever we say, if it's not lore accurate or whatever, yeah, we didn't know. Okay,
no, for
we're just talking about from what we know,
yeah,
our knowledge.
because for me personally, I don't know much superheroes compared to my brother, and I'm pretty sure you too. Hence why you're wearing this right now. The only reason why I'm wearing this is because literally yesterday I was at a birthday party for a children's event, right? And then they wanted everyone to come in costumes for a specific Marvel character. Out of all the characters that I wanted to be Hulk first of all, because I wanted to don like face paint. I wanted to have like the Hulk's fists.
He wants to be half naked. Yeah,
No, but what's funny about that too is that the birthday boy that was there was already going to be the Hulk, so that was out.
I mean there could be two Hulks.
Exactly. Because the other thing too is that I also wanted to be Iron Man, but it turns out that someone that's a relative to the birthday boy was already as Iron Man, so that also ruled it out.
I mean there could be also two Iron Mans.
Exactly. And then I wanted to be, or actually my parents suggested that I should be Ant-Man. But the problem for me was is that the costumes and everything that was being sold around that time were either one, too expensive or too cheaply made. So I didn't bother. And then my fourth suggestion was this one right here, Black Panther. And honestly, I thought it worked out pretty well. So what I find really nice about it too is that I wasn't the only Black Panther at the party. So there's also another little, I think she's 1 or 2 years old, that also came in as Black Panther, and then I was just basically playing with her for some of the party and taking pictures with her and trying to pose, have her like put on the gloves, try on the mask. It was really funny.
I see. I see.
But yeah,
Okay.
hence why I'm wearing this right now.
And by the way, I was not at the party for personal reasons.
Yeah.
Although I would have shown up as Captain Deadpool.
You
But
came ready, obviously. Well, hence why we're
yes.
talking about superheroes in our podcast today. So,
Yep.
oh, before I forget, yeah, this is the ICduhweebs podcast, episode 3. So we're going to be talking about superheroes, as Caspen mentioned earlier. So, as you can see, I'm rocking Black Panther and then Batman from DC.
Partially
So,
Batman. Yeah.
yeah, again, we don't know much about superheroes, but we're just gonna try to like get into the topic. So for those who want to try to correct us, be our guests, but we're just talking about stuff that we know per se in regards to Marvel and DC. Specifically Marvel,
Exactly.
because we know Marvel more. And then Miku's gonna rock the Black
Or
Panther mask for a bit.
yeah, she's also Black Panther, so
Yeah, and then I don't know if you guys know, but I sort of added a little more stuff to the back here too. Like I added the Gargura dinosaur plushie in the back here. I don't know if I added Cinema Roll and then I forgot her name from Hello Kitty.
you also added the minion.
Yeah, a little minion on the side here. I have a little bird to represent Buddy because he's not going to be here anymore.
By the way, that's what Buddy looks like.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Exactly
what he looks
like
like. He's green and yellow.
Exactly like him. So yeah, hopefully this is good for now. Otherwise, if not, I'm hoping to get more. Like for those of you who haven't seen the amazing digital circus yet, I'm getting the plushies.
We're starting to get on the topic.
Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna add it to the collection. But again, back to the topic.
So,
So
I'm gonna say the very first question. Do you prefer Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Yeah, I was expecting that. For me, I'd probably say Marvel, but to be honest, it doesn't exactly matter because I have favorite superheroes from both universes. So
If I could ask then, who is your favorite Marvel superhero of all times versus your favorite DC superhero of all time?
for DC,
Hmm.
actually, hold on, I need to think about that. I'd say for DC, I'd say between, from what I know, Green Lantern, not the movie with Ryan Reynolds, because that one he didn't like that. But yeah, I like Green Lantern,
Okay, that's
Hal
fair.
Jordan, that
Hmm.
was his name, or it's either him or Aquaman, and this is before
Oh, that's fair.
the who's the actor for
I
Aquaman?
don't remember. I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy. But yeah,
And then who is your favorite Marvel superhero? I think that's
now
gonna
for
be.
Marvel, you could take a guess. I think it's
It's Thor.
interesting. Close, close, close.
Is one of your favorites actually Thor or not really?
It's okay. My
Where,
favorite. Well, yeah,
where
I
would you
guess.
place him on your rankings, just out of curiosity, before I actually guess who your favorite?
I don't have a rank. I don't know. I had to think about that.
Okay,
I,
so
but my favorite superhero, it is Captain America.
yep. Okay, I was gonna say.
Like growing up, he's that one guy that's not like wearing a suit or have like like superpowers really. He's just he's the guy with the shield and it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's my favorite superhero.
I think that's like what makes him unique too, coming from the rest too.
He's
Cause
like he's like one of the more human like
yeah, more. I wouldn't say based, but like standard type of hero. Like when you think of superhero, Captain America usually pops up. Um, Look, is like that type of way. Like if you were to imagine a superhero, Captain America's image is what you think that a hero would be like.
you could say that, you could say that. But yeah, yeah. I mean, there's other superheroes like more common ones like Superman. That's probably the
That's like the
one, the first.
symbol.
That's like the first thing that would come to mind of any. If anyone ever like, if the word superhero shows up, probably the first thing that comes to mind for most people would be Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
Some guy in a cape flying around with super strength and all that stuff. So yeah, others. Of course, there's gonna be other people that think of something else, but I'd say yeah.
Yeah, he would be my first pick too when it comes to superheroes, but he's not my favorite DC hero.
All right, all right, all right. You know what? You asked me of my favorites. What
Hmm.
about you? Any
Okay.
favorite DC heroes?
To be fair, it's sort of hard for me to pick a DC superhero, but if I were to choose one, the one that really sticks out to me the most, and it's not just because of, like he's like my favorite and anything. I think he's the one that like really, I wouldn't say like get to me, but I see him everywhere, and I see him like being talked more compared to like any of the other DC superheroes. Surprisingly, even more than Superman.
Is it Batman?
Yes, yeah, it's Batman.
Yes, the crime fighter.
Yeah, I actually like Batman. Plus the animated series too back in the day.
Oh, wait, like is it Batman and the Bold?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brave and the Bold?
Brave and the Bold. Yeah,
I
that
remember
one.
that kid show. Yeah, I
Yeah.
also watched that.
It was that one. I think another one. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was called Batman Returns. That was another one that I saw briefly.
It might be.
Yeah,
Either that or that's a movie.
yeah, I don't remember what the series was
You
called.
guys would probably
Yeah, yeah.
know.
I'm pretty sure it's not called Batman the Animated Series. I think that was after. But yeah, Batman technically is my favorite DC superhero. When it comes to Marvel, it's a little hard for me to choose because I like a bunch. But if I were to stick with just one, and this is coming from the MCU universe though, my pick would be Iron Man, Tony Stark.
Tony Stark, Rowney Jr. Or
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
Robert, yeah,
Yeah,
Rowney Jr.
Robbie Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he would be my
Any
personal pick
reasoning as to for that?
because I think the way how like Robert Downey Jr. portrays Tony Stark and Iron Man as a character is
He
really
really
cool.
he fits, he kind of
Yeah,
fits. I can't imagine any other person being
that's the
Iron Man.
thing. He's so serious. He seems confident at what
He
he
has
is.
his funny moments
Yeah,
too, so it
exactly,
fits
too.
well.
And plus, of course, Endgame for obvious reasons.
Ah,
That's another reason why I
so
like Iron Man too. But yeah, there are other favorites that I like. Spider-Man as well.
of course, yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Black Panther too.
That guy.
Of course, he's not my
The
personal favorite though.
MCU Black Panther or like
I'm gonna
Black
go
Panther?
MCU. Everything that I'm gonna be talking about mostly is
It's
MCU.
from the movies,
Yeah,
yes.
the movies. Yeah, mostly either movies or cartoons or TV shows. If you want to like talk about like comics and stuff, I know absolutely nothing about them.
Maybe we won't go to comics because I
Yeah,
also don't really have any really knowledge about the
yeah,
Marvel comics or DC comics. So
yeah. Maybe if we have my
oh,
brothers as guests one
the
day.
closest thing I would know from the comics is that Stanley is the creator of Marvel. You know, the
Yeah,
comics started in what 19.
I don't want to guess. I don't really
I don't
know.
know. Somewhere in early 19.
Early
I'm
1900s.
probably
Yeah,
wrong, entirely wrong. So
yeah.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, because
So
if it wasn't me, like us talking about the movies, I'd ask my brother if he wants to like cameo himself and like actually discuss about the comics and stuff. He knows more about that more than we do, I bet. So, but other than that, nah, we're mostly on the film side of things when it comes to superheroes.
all right. So I guess we'll start with Marvel because we know more about. So tell me any what any thoughts based off of the MCU, the movies, like
Just like in
have you
general.
seen them all?
Yeah. Okay. So the ones that I really focused on were, I think my first one was Captain America's first movie or Iron Man's first
Captain
movie.
America first.
Yeah. I forgot what the original Captain America was called, but I think that was my introduction to the MCU. Because every time a new Marvel movie would come into theaters, I would always go with my brother to watch them. And every single time we saw a new Marvel movie, it was almost always a great experience.
Mm,
Good gracious, especially when it got to like Infinity War and then Endgame. Holy moly, those were amazing.
interesting. So let's see.
That's like my proper introduction to Marvel in
Was that the
general, though.
first Marvel movie or like MCU considered
Yes, I
Marvel
believe
movie?
so. I believe Captain America.
Captain America
Yeah,
First Avenger.
first Avenger. I think that was the first movie that
That
I've
is the
seen.
first movie.
Yeah.
For me, let's see, thinking all the way back to as far as I can remember, I'd say my first Marvel movie that I've watched was it's either Iron Man or like the Incredible Hulk, the one that's not included as MCU,
Yeah,
the
yeah, the one before it, right?
where the movie where he faces first like he gets his powers and then it's like there's some point he faced three like mutant dogs. If I don't know if do you
I,
know?
I recalled it, but I try not to remember it as much because it wasn't the same Hulk that was in the
Yeah,
Avengers movie.
yeah. But
Yeah, but I do
he
recall it.
faced three like mutant dogs, and then later on, the main enemy of the movie was the Abomination, which he does show up in the MCU.
Yeah.
It's just not like in the side. So it was that. So I guess pretty much Iron Man was the first movie I watched, and then that's what. Well, actually, that's not exactly what got me into like Marvel, but that was the first MCU movie I watched, and
Gotcha.
then saw the other movies like probably actually it's probably even before Captain America: First Avenger. Before watching that movie, I'd say there was a different reason why I liked him as my favorite Marvel hero. It was probably from the kids shows.
I mean, I don't blame you too, because the way how he's designed, I'm pretty sure he's like appealing to most kids.
Either that or it's just
Yeah,
yeah.
it was either him or Spider-Man. So
Yeah, yeah. So let's see. Going through the MCU movies, you got the f- well, so you got Captain America: First Avenger.
Hmm.
Then you also had, I know it's one of the, even though First Avengers, other movies came up before, like Iron Man.
Yep.
I think Iron Man 2,
Yeah.
Thor, and
Hmm.
then
Yep.
the Hulk had a movie
I
from.
don't think Hulk had
He was
one.
just in. He was. They. I guess from the first Avengers movie, they brought like some clips from the Incredible Hulk
Yes.
to it. So
Hmm.
I don't know if they had the rights. They probably
I
did.
think they did. I'm not 100% because before Marvel was like a complete movie studio, weren't they owned by Sony, I think?
I think so. I
Yeah,
think
because
so.
I can recall like the early Spider-Man movies, but I don't really count that as like part of the
They're
MCU.
not part of the MCU.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
That's why I
not
didn't bring up the original Spider-Man movie because that was technically
not
my first
not
exposure.
Andrew Garfield or
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey
That's the one
Maguire.
that that's the one that I know the
That
most.
those were Sony back then.
Hmm.
I mean, we can of course we can also talk about them because
Yeah, yeah, of course.
so let's see, as I was saying, you got some of those movies.
Hmm.
They're nice. They're nice building up the character.
Yeah.
That's good. And then when they first introduced the first Avengers movie, all of them included, what was that?
12.
2012.
I
I
believe it
don't
was
know why.
2012.
For some reason, I keep thinking like 2014.
No, no, no. It's definitely 2012. I know a reason why too. I don't want to get into much detail because it's going to be a little personal on my end, but yes, it's 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you got the first Avengers, the Avengers movie. They're bringing them together and all that stuff, building up. I'd say the first movie it turned out well.
Yeah, I
Turned out
actually liked it.
turned out very well. The bad guy, Loki, yes.
Hmm. Oh
So,
gosh, this scene with the Hulk.
oh yeah, I'm a god.
That is
You
the
worthless.
that is if not my favorite scene out of the entire movie. It was either that or when you see all the Avengers standing around like yeah, the camera pans on all the
Oh, it's
Avengers
like
standing in the middle of the
like
street.
they finally got together in New York as
Yeah,
New
yeah,
York was
exactly.
getting invaded by the sorry,
I don't remember.
sorry with the Z. You guys would
Yeah, you
know.
guys definitely know more than us, so
Maybe no. But yeah, yeah, I know the scene where it's like they all started coming together as they're looking around, the camera moving around too. That was a good scene
that
showing
was.
six Avengers.
That's
Yes.
like one of the most memorable things about it because when you think of Marvel, let alone Avengers, it's that one scene where you see all the heroes together
Now,
come together in that
not
one
only
very special
that,
event.
also when they're playing the theme song, everyone should know what the Avengers theme song is by now.
Hmm.
Like da, 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 da,
Yep.
da, da,
That
da.
build up with the music in the background, the Avengers theme, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it's spectacular.
so great.
Hmm.
Well, I guess it's also pretty much no, it's mostly Avengers, but like that's also been included in other Marvel movies,
Yeah,
right?
mostly all the Avengers movies.
Okay, well, I meant like just I meant
if
no,
we're if we're if we're taking a stretch on it, then yes, technically that's right. Am I
anyways,
wrong?
anyways, um, so yeah, the first Avengers movie was amazing.
Mm.
Now, I've been hearing about Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. I've been hearing like that was one of the lesser favorite movies.
Sadly, I think that's true.
I
Um,
like to me, I like I
yeah.
liked it.
Personally, I liked it too. I don't think it's great compared to the first original movie, and especially the movies that came after Age of Ultron. But I don't think it's their weakest, in my opinion.
It's not their worst MCU movie, but it's like
Yeah.
it wasn't like more hyped than some of the others. I'm going to assume the reasoning behind that was because one for those that don't know, Ultron, it was this robot that was created by originally Hank Pym, but they made MCU chose Iron Man and Bruce Banner making Ultron.
Yep.
Ultron was supposed to be this like well, first it was supposed to be like a good robot kind of thing, but then he became bad, and so he was supposed to be like one of the more stronger villains that they faced. Like more stronger than some of the other villains they faced before. Like, but then they ended off with in the movies, like they finished off Ultron when he could have been like not how was it like he could have lasted longer, but no,
Hmm.
they like finished him off in the like one movie,
That mo-
unlike Loki. So
yeah. That movie was the introduction of Vision too, right?
yeah, introduction of Vision and also Scarlet Witch, well Wanda,
Uh
and
huh.
and her brother as Quicksilver,
Hmm.
X-Men, but they're not included at the
There.
time.
Hmm.
So
I don't know. I thought it was a good watch though. Again, it's not like up to standards compared to their more popular movies, but in my opinion, I think that movie's underrated.
yeah, yeah, I guess yeah, it's underrated.
Hmm. Yeah, compared
So
to like say like the other Avengers movies, especially when we talk about Infinity Wars and Endgame. Yeah, it's not like that type of level, but it's like mid low, but not to the point where it's like really bad compared to the rest of the MCU movies.
okay, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna skip like several other movies, going straight to Infinity War.
Oh, great.
Now, yeah,
Speaking
in
of.
Infinity War. You know, some of the Avengers are disbanded. You know, they're all over the place, and
Hmm.
then now Thanos is coming to is collecting the Infinity Stones and so forth. So they're heading to Earth because apparently the majority of the stones were there,
Hmm.
surprisingly. And, and what were your thoughts as you're watching the movie?
I thought it was great, honestly. Like that slow build up when we see Thanos become the greatest villain ever.
Who was your voice by? Because the actor it fitted very well.
Yeah, I forgot his name. But yeah, he did an amazing job as Thanos. Um,
Thanos.
Thanos, because I got Thanos gaming stuck in my head too. But when he has like that slow build up, when he becomes the most powerful being ever, that screams so much to me, especially the very ending of the movie.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, how like this is like the one bad villain that the other heroes were having trouble facing against,
Hmm.
because like he knew what he was doing. Like he like
He
um
succeeded basically.
he succeeded collecting the stones and fulfilling his plan, which was wiping off half of the universe or
Mm.
half of the population. I think in the comics it was like he had a different plan, like probably like wiping the universe or something, making a new one.
Hmm.
Although he does think of that late in the next movie. But yeah, his plans was different, a lot different than the MCU. So I don't really know. So although we'll say that Thanos that wasn't the first time Thanos was shown. His first appearance was during Guardians of the Galaxy
That's
when
true.
Ronan was talking to Thanos about retrieving the Power Stone. My opinion on that Thanos, his eyes looked weird. It was like
I don't remember as much.
I think it was it might be the same voice actor, but then the way he looked when he was first introduced, he had his original outfit on with the helmet and all that, sitting
Hmm.
on his floating chair. But the way, to me, the way his eyes looked weird, like they were marbles. Yeah, it looked like
So
marbles.
it was like fish eyes or whatsoever.
Something, yeah,
Oh,
pretty
good
much.
gracious.
It just didn't look right. But then now, when they introduced more of Thanos in Infinity War,
Mhm.
they definitely fixed it. It actually looks a lot better than when they first made his appearance. So
That's why when recalling of Thanos, I could only imagine him from the Infinity War and Endgame movie. Like
mm.
when you said that he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy, I almost completely forgot he was in that movie too.
Yeah,
That's how bad it
it
was.
looked like it. By the way, when he meant by bad, he wasn't talking about how the movie was bad. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
how Thanos looked.
Yeah, exactly. For
By
me,
the
in my
by,
opinion, I love Guardians of the Galaxy
yeah,
for obvious reasons.
isn't Guardians of the Galaxy is when they started to like introduce more
Yes.
humor into the franchise.
Yeah. Oh my
Like,
god, that's why I really love Drax.
yeah, Drax is amazing. Drax
Oh
is
my gosh,
amazing.
especially I forgot, was it in Infinity War Endgame when they were talking about Gamora? Do you remember the scene?
Gamora, like, like,
Where is
yeah.
Gamora? Who is
Oh
Gamora?
yeah,
Do you want
that
better?
that
Why
that
is Gamora?
yeah that Drax is such a funny guy.
I cackled in those scenes, man. Those were
Yeah, that
great.
wasn't
Anytime Drax was on screen, I knew I'd be in for a great laugh.
so like moving aside from Infinity Wars.
Hmm.
Since we brought up Guardians of the Galaxy, we definitely gotta talk about that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Who's your favorite out of the five? Even though in the comics it was more characters and different characters, but we're gonna be talking about the MCU's Guardians of the Galaxy because that's
Yeah.
it turned out
To
great.
be fair, like I mentioned, I think Drax has to be my favorite.
Drax,
I think it's sort of a bias too because, like, I don't know if you guys have seen episode one when we talked about our interests and stuff. I like watching the WWE, and the actor that portrayed Drax was Dave Batista, and I really love him as a wrestler. And seeing him play as Drax, oh, it made the movie like as great as much as I wanted it to be.
I didn't know he was a wrestler.
Yeah, yeah. His
I mean,
finisher was
he did look like one, so
yeah, and his finisher's called the Batista Bomb. So.
I see. Sadly, we didn't see those in the Marvel movies.
No, no. He actually did perform some of his wrestling moves, though, but not a Batista bomb, surprisingly. I
Okay.
could be wrong, though. Can someone correct that for me, please? Especially if you're a wrestling fan.
Yes, definitely. For me, who would be my favorite Avenger or the favorite Guardians of the Galaxy?
I am Groot.
You know what? We're gonna go with Groot because
Sure, fair game.
I actually like the Groot that they made for especially in the first movie. He's like the fact that he only had one line. I am Groot. Wait. I, never mind.
You got it, Vin Diesel. Come on.
I'm not. I am Groot.
That's like a mixture of Yoda with Groot.
No, that was a mixture of like a different voice. But then I could do the baby Groot one.
I, I'm Groot. I'm Groot.
There
And
you
then
go.
when it like one time when he was like growing up in his teens, like I am Groot.
Oh, yeah, the sassy Groot.
Yeah, that one. But yeah, I mean all of them are great.
Yeah.
Especially the interactions between one another. Like
Oh no, I think that's what makes the movie great.
Yeah.
Because of the way how they treat each other too. Because they think one is better than the other, and like the way how they try to get
Rocket
things
and-
done. Yeah, it's just their banter. That's what I love about their
that's
relationship.
what made them amazing. When that movie first came up, it was like the humor wasn't forced. It was like
Yeah.
it seemed more natural, and that's what made it one of the things that made it amazing.
Exactly. So you could sort of like relate with the characters too, one way or another. Because imagine it's like hanging out with a bunch of people that you don't know, but slowly you become friends with them over time.
Yeah.
And then you get to like laugh along with them, joke with them, and then sort of like build a relationship like what happened with the Guardians. So
Yeah,
I
pretty
think it is
much.
really cool.
Very much. A lot of good. Anything else you want to say about the Guardians?
I don't remember as much. The only thing that also comes to mind are the music and the song choices they have
Oh
compared to the rest of
yeah,
the Marvel
the
movies.
music. Yeah, what was not the beginning music? Wait, was it the beginning music?
Hooked on a Feeling. Hooked on a feeling.
Oh yeah. That song.
Yeah, that one.
That was such a good song.
Yeah, I thought that was a good song choice too. You
Like
know,
no other song can.
yeah, it was Hooked on a Feeling. What was the other? I think the other one was Mr. Blue Sky. Oh yeah, they did play that
song
too.
by the end of the first movie.
Yeah,
Yes,
they also
you
did
guys
Mr.
heard
Blue
my
Sky in the
singing.
following Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
those are probably the only two songs I know from the Guardians of the Galaxy. All the rest I don't know. I don't.
I know one of them because it was in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Was it?
Do you remember the Mr. Blue Sky song? I don't
How
remember
did
how
it
the
go?
tune goes. It was in the beginning of the second movie when we see Baby Groot like going around, but it was also at the very end of the Super Mario Brothers movie. That song plays before the
Oh,
credits rolled.
I might have to check that again.
Yeah. Because that was also in the movie. I thought they also chose a good song for that intro too.
And for those that haven't seen the third movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, my gosh, it was such a good movie.
It was.
Such a good movie, the way, like, it's like focusing more on Rocket Raccoon and his like, we get to figure out his backstory of,
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie.
it probably made a lot of people tear up.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a good
That nearly
story.
got me.
One of the better backstories in the MCU.
To be fair too, yeah. It sucks that we don't see Rocket as much with the rest of the Guardians, but like learning about his backstory definitely made up for it.
Yeah, definitely. And then how Peter Quill, Star-Lord, he left, but he is gonna come back. So just to noticing that his family is still his
Spoilers,
was
by
it
the way.
uncle? Yeah. By the way, spoilers.
Yeah, we should have brought that up earlier. We might or may not mention spoilers. Technically, he did, but there you go. For those who haven't seen the third movie, you're welcome.
Yes, the only thing we spoiled was memories of Rocket Raccoon and Peter Quill's relative alive. That's it. So yeah, that the movie's great. I
Yeah, heck yeah.
recommend watching it. One of the better MCU movies they made more recently.
I
Was
straight
it
up
this
just.
year?
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, this year.
I straight up enjoyed the ending. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a good ending. Good ending. We're not gonna spoil that.
Yeah, we're for sure not spoiling that very ending of the movie. Yeah, you have to see for yourself to learn why.
All right, moving back to Infinity. Well,
Or do you want to
anything
transition to
anything
Endgame?
else from Infinity War?
It's
Anything else?
just that meme of like, I don't, the
Oh,
especially
oh,
Spider-Man. Mr. Stark, I
Spider-Man.
don't feel so
Which
good.
meme? Oh yeah, that one. And tell Mr. Stark I don't feel so good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I seen that everywhere.
And before that happened, I just want to say Peter Quill messed up so bad. They could have gotten the glove, but yeah, his own emotions of Gamora got to him.
Oh my gosh.
Like, they could have ended it there. Although, they probably don't want to end it off there, because
Yeah, because I was
it
gonna.
would just finish and
Yeah, because I was gonna
boring
say,
ending.
would it just feel a bit rushed if that were to happen?
Yeah, if they successfully got it, despite, it would have ended a lot sooner. Probably won't be more as epic as it was with Endgame, or leading to Endgame.
Yep.
Even though technically for the MCU, there's a lot of things missing. Like, more heroes were involved during Infinity War, but they didn't include it. So
Yeah, that's true.
like the X-Men and a lot of other superheroes
Yeah, like
that should have, well, either should have shown up for Infinity War or not.
yeah.
But
So basically, like the side superhero sidekicks and like the heroes that no one really talks about in the
there's no
MCU or
sidekicks in
Marvel.
Marvel.
No. Shoot. What? I don't know the term for it.
The
But like
other
the
hero,
not known heroes of
the
Marvel.
heroes that aren't Avengers,
Yeah, that makes sense.
like X-Men or like those other heroes that aren't like on a common, well-known team. They're like
They just
either
show
on
up.
their own. Yeah, they just show up. So the side characters, and well, you can't really say side characters, but yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, Peter Quill messed up, and like they could have won, but they didn't. So that was probably one of the futures that Doctor Strange probably saw. Like, if it didn't happen, then something else would have happened. Something probably worse than that. So
It was a good build up though. And at least, how many years did it take before Endgame released in theaters after Infinity Wars aired? I forgot the years.
maybe I think it was. Okay, so when did Endgame showed up? Was it when did Endgame like? Was that during 2019 or 2020?
I thought it was either 2018 or 2019. I just don't remember the exact year. Because if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong though. Infinity Wars released in 2016? Again, I could be wrong.
2016?
I don't remember. Do you want to search up on your phone?
No, I'm not gonna pull up my phone this time.
Yeah, I don't have my laptop in front of me too, because it's so we would have done
I'd
that.
say like maybe a few years, like maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. Again, so please correct us in the comments, because we know for sure we're butchering this really badly.
Well, this is just what we know. This
Yeah.
is what we know. You don't have to listen to what we know, but we're just expressing our thoughts and opinions and whatever we're feeling about 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 these movies and
Yeah, the
heroes.
topic in general.
So, moving on to Endgame.
Mhm.
What was it? It was like, is it the first 3-hour movie
Yes,
of the
I believe
MCU
so.
series?
I believe so, yes.
Hmm.
How long was Infinity Wars?
I think it was only like 2 hours. About
Mm-hmm.
so moving to 3 hours. That's interesting. Quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to call out from the Endgame?
The final battle scene.
Okay. You know what? Before we get to that, I'll just say it was an interesting concept of them time traveling through the Pym particles shrinking down to actually like shrinking down to a certain point, which has apparently has an effect on time, and for them to be able to either go back in time and then go back in time from the past
Mm-hmm.
and then back into the future, which was very interesting to be honest. Like the whole concept about time traveling and all that is so different.
Yep.
But this one just shrinking to the point where it's like you end up in a different timeline. It's
Mm-hmm.
quite an interesting concept,
It is.
and somehow they made it work. So
It, yeah,
we
surprisingly.
had some interesting moments when they went back in time.
Yeah. Well, to be fair too, I also like the beginning part of that movie too, when the Avengers that were still alive all went to see Thanos.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's how they did. They did start off with that. They
Yeah.
found Thanos in this deserted planet.
Yeah. So
Looks
peaceful and everything too.
and they just straight up beheaded him. Just
Thor did. I gone for the head.
yeah, Thor did it this time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I
But
forgot to
yeah,
mention.
even
Infinity
so,
Game.
after killing him, the gauntlet was the Infinity Gauntlet was like messed up and all this, so they couldn't really bring them back. They couldn't like save half of the universe and all that.
Yeah.
So like several, what was it, like 5 years later, they finally thought of a plan. Maybe, actually, I don't know if it was probably 5 years later.
I think so.
You guys would know. So 5 years later, they come back. Hank or Scott Lang comes back. Didn't even know that the Infinity War happened.
That was
Comes
funny.
back, noticing even though he was like shrunk. He shrunk himself to a certain point for like he said that it was like 5 hours. He was shrunken for 5 hours, but then when he comes back, he finds out that it was 5 years later. Which that's what was very interesting about
Hmm.
the way they did time traveling. And so he shrunk back, or he grew back to his normal size. 5 years later, one finds out that his daughter is grown up now, which
Oh
I'd
yeah.
say that would be surprising
Well,
for
for
almost everyone.
in general, yeah.
And noticing a lot of people are gone.
Hmm.
And so he goes back, or he didn't know about this whole situation. He goes back to the Avengers. I think during his trip to see the Avengers, or the ones that are alive.
Mm-hmm.
I think he came up with the idea about finding a way to bring back everyone.
I
Then
think I
that's where the
yeah
time traveling comes in.
yeah I think I recall that too. Not as much,
Like
but
Tony Stark had to like go through it to see if it actually works,
yeah.
which he it was surprising that it somehow worked. He found and so forth. So yeah, that was a whole interesting thing. Now, as as you were saying,
Mm-hmm.
the final fight where Thanos Thanos from the past comes Thanos from the past somehow got pin particles and he came back. Oh no, now I remember how he got it. He got it from kidnapped. They caught the nebula of the future, and
Mm-hmm.
so they got the pin particles. So yeah, ASMR. So yeah, he comes back. He's from the past,
Mm-hmm.
comes to their timeline, and so he's like, you know what? Since my first plan, even though it did succeeded, there's still those that were rebellious and like didn't accept it. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna destroy the whole universe and start a new one. So yeah, that brought him to there,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that they collected the Infinity Stones for him to for him to use it again. I don't know if he had any like before he time traveled. So
I don't remember as much.
probably probably I think from what he said, it was like 10 years later from from that point. So I'm not sure you guys would know. Although this is just the MCU movie, the comics is a lot
Yeah,
different,
I was
a
gonna
lot
say
different.
too.
So as I was saying, it he Thanos comes back from the past. He goes to their timeline. Is like, all right, we're going to find the gauntlet and all that. That's what starts building up to the end game. The one or the end game, which could have included a lot more people, but they didn't. So
I think it was fine from what they have, anyways.
I really do like how all the heroes they started gathering, or actually after they brought half of the population back. I just love how every hero was started to appear. Like it's like it just felt like it's been so long since I've seen them like involved or they're actually involved in this final fight
Mm-hmm.
that decides whether the universe is destroyed or not.
Yep.
And so all of them showing by one, those that were from the other movies, those that didn't even know it happened, and so forth. So it's like all of them coming together, and then it's like the one scene where it's like, as you see all of them lined up before they start charging, it's like Captain America leads the final hurrah. It's like Avengers, and then assembled. It was such a great. I like that scene
Me
so
too.
much.
I mean,
They
which
all.
Avengers fan doesn't like that scene?
It's probably a few or so.
Yeah, but
It's
not the
just
ones that we know,
yeah,
obviously.
definitely don't know. So yeah, that was probably one of the best scenes out of Endgame I can that I do recall.
I think
And
in period in MCU, that was probably the best scene of all
it was
time.
yeah
You got more?
for some people. So yeah, Endgame. It was such a great movie. The way all that fighting stuff, the way they
Hmm.
interacted with one another, and how Robert Downey Jr. ends the war, getting the gauntlet, and is like, "Do you want? Would you like to say more? Anything?"
I was gonna say, should I spoil the ending?
I feel like the majority of people have seen it, so I think it's fine. If you haven't watched it, or just don't listen to this.
Okay,
So
ready? 3.
We've spoiled quite a lot.
We might as well
So
spoil more in 3, 2, 1. Tony Stark dies in the end of that movie.
he was seen as a hero among almost everyone.
Yeah.
So
What's funny too is that if you actually took the lore to that, he actually passed away not that long ago.
yeah, yeah. So
That honestly is incredible. Just incredible. One way or another. I think that's like a
and
beautiful masterpiece.
getting the well, failed to get the gauntlet, but got the Infinity Stones. It was like, "Dun, and I am Iron Man."
Oh
Just
my
love the
gosh, I
line
love
from
it.
the Iron Man song. I am Iron Man. So
It's
yeah,
so iconic. It's so iconic. That's why I love that movie so much. Honestly, if it weren't for like those Avengers movies in general, wouldn't be like more informed about the heroes of Marvel in general. It's sort of like a leeway into it, I guess you could say.
all right.
If I could ask, I think we talked about like a majority of the popular movie, the Avengers movie.
Pretty much the MCU movie.
Yeah,
Not all.
in your opinion, what is the best Marvel movie? See, it's hard, isn't it?
I mean, there's some. Okay, like we're not gonna talk. We're not gonna. I guess we're not gonna talk about the more recent Marvel movies and all that because
Yeah.
that's Marvel. The MCU did start like falling a little. Not gonna lie.
I sort of didn't really care about any of the
There
upcoming movies except for
there's some good moments I'd say,
yeah.
but overall it wasn't as great as the like before Endgame where these Marvel movies are building up to something really big.
Exactly.
Although I guess some of the recent
Yeah. I mean,
MCU movies, I guess they might be building up to something out
yeah, I was
like
gonna say they
bigger,
technically
but
are.
it just doesn't have that like wow factor, like
They were missing that
that
from like
that
the build up.
hype that most people loved or expected when the MCU was beginning. So
Yeah, I was gonna say like for example, Ant-Man, most recent movie. They're
the quantum
yeah yeah
one,
yeah Quantum one yeah
quantum manium, yeah,
yeah that one because again spoilers. At the end of the movie, they revealed after the credits that the villain of that movie is coming back again. So I'm assuming that they're,
Kang.
yeah, Kang. They're planning on building up more with the more recent movies coming out, so that in the end they're gonna all fight Kang. Quang? Kang? Quang? Kang.
Kang. It's like
Kang.
how do you say it? Kang.
Kang. Okay. Yeah.
And justice and this from what I know about Kang the Conqueror, yeah, he was one of the bigger villains that in from the comics and kid shows and all that. Kang is another like big villain besides Thanos. Like he's he's like a major threat, like similar to that of Thanos or Ultron. But
Yeah, because this is what I'm sort of like thinking about it now. He's gonna be like Thanos 2.0, where they're gonna build up the remaining Avengers again, and then have a
something like
yeah,
that.
and then have another big quote unquote big movie like the Avengers movie, and have everyone versus Kang and his army or whatsoever.
I do wonder how that will go.
Yeah, because
I don't
again,
know if it might be good, it might be not because of course since now some of the Avengers are either retired, gone, or
like completely out in general.
out. It's just weird seeing some of these heroes that either should have been shown already or just now like entirely different people that are appearing. It just feels weird.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say
But we
too.
never know. It might turn out good, it might not,
It all just depends on the situation.
and how they interpret it. So yeah.
Yeah, this is sort of what I was thinking about too. I don't know about the lore of the comics and how they would eventually meet up with Kang again, but this is what I was thinking. I don't know. Like again, we're only focusing on the movies and we're not focusing on the comics.
Yeah,
We reiterate for like the millionth time already.
yeah.
But yeah, getting back into the topic. So did you talk about your favorite movie already, or
I'm just gonna say the Avengers, first
Avengers?
Avengers movie. That's where,
Okay,
that's where.
outside of the Avengers, who had the best movie? See, now I made it harder for you, huh?
This is my opinion. I still like Captain America, the first Avenger of it.
That's completely fine. I honestly see that too.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say it's out of the. I mean,
The many out there.
out of those six Avengers, Hawkeye is the only one that doesn't have a movie. He has a TV show, but he didn't have a movie. So, and by the way, I didn't really finish his TV show. So,
Same
or
with me. I didn't
his
even
show.
watch
So,
it. I didn't watch it, so
I've probably only seen like one episode, and then that. But okay, out of those, besides him, the other Avengers movie, yeah, I'd say Captain America.
okay, yeah, that's
Like,
fair.
I think it had a more impact on me than the others.
Gotcha. Yeah, because when you saw him the first time, do you remember how old you were, or like what grade I should say?
No, I just know I was young. I
Young.
watched the movie and I was like, he's so cool. It's
So
like,
he's like he's an inspiration to you and like what you imagine a hero would be like,
yeah,
or you just like him just because of his design.
no. It was like that, and then also like, I don't know. I had this thing. Is like, you got all these superheroes with superpowers, and then you got Captain America with,
His
well,
shield.
other than getting drugs, becoming stronger, faster, and durable, and all that.
Yep.
It was just this man with a shield. He knew somehow was able to fit in with all these other like superhumans and
Others.
others. So it's like he became my favorite. So
That's fair.
for those that know what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah. Me not as much, but I guess I'll share mine. So for me, not including Avengers Endgame, because in my opinion, I think that was the best Marvel MCU movie of all time.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Surprisingly, it's also not Guardians of the Galaxy. My pick is actually the Spider-Man series.
Which
That
wait, which ones?
to pick between
The one
all
that's
of them,
not MCU or the one that is?
that is MCU. That's actually related with the stories and stuff.
So that's only.
Those are pretty
Isn't
recent.
only two?
No, I think there's three.
No, there's three.
There's
Spider-Man Homecoming.
yep,
There's Spider-Man Far From Home.
and then wasn't the third one called No Way for?
No Way Back or something?
No, it has the word home in the title. I think it was called
Did
No
it?
Way Home.
Maybe.
Probably. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd ask my brother, but he's probably busy right now. But yeah, I know it has home in the title because every single one had home in their title.
I never really thought about that.
Yeah, exactly. I
So
think
like
it's
first movie, he faces off against the Vulture,
Yep.
which I don't know how some people would feel about that. To me, it was like okay, but like he didn't look. Anyways, yeah, he faces the Vulture. Second movie, he faces. That was what's his name? Mysterio.
yeah.
He faces Mysterio.
Reveals who
Which-
Spider-Man is. Yep.
Yeah, he used to be some guy that was like working for Tony Stark, but then was like rejected or something. So it was
Yeah.
like I want to revenge, so forth. And then number three, that's when the villains from not just their universe, but from Sony, they started appearing. Which that one was interesting. You had Lizard Man and Electro from
Amazing Spider-Man.
from the Amazing Spider-Man with not Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. Then you have Harry Osborn, Green Goblin, and
Doc Ock.
Doc Ock and Sandman from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe. So
Sandman?
yeah, he was in there.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay, okay.
So those five. So that was an interesting movie. You have these other actual Spider-Man villains. So
No, I think that's what made it cool. To be completely biased in my opinion, that's why I think that was my favorite movie because of like nostalgia. Like I mentioned before in the previous episodes, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. So seeing those past Spider-Mans, it really like honed into my memories. And imagine like seeing me and my brother like watching these movies again, but like in the present day.
and you have and by the way, not just the villains, like you have the three Spider-Mans.
Exactly,
Tobey
that's the thing.
Maguire.
Andrew Garfield and yeah, Andrew Garfield. And
And Tom
now
Holland.
Tom Holland. Those three Spider-Mans working together to stop these villains from wreaking havoc and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's
No,
sort of the reason why I
it
love
was
that movie.
interesting how they included Doctor Strange because the whole multi-universe
Yeah.
kind of
To
thing.
be fair, I think adding him in sort of made sense.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, because I like what other hero would probably do something like that too?
There's probably a few others, but I don't
Because
know.
you can't say Tony Stark. So
Oh yeah, definitely. He uses technology to bring all these other people back.
I mean, if it works one way or another, then maybe. But then again, I forgot. Was it that movie where a bunch of the other Avengers cameoed at the very end of the end credits scene, or was it? Because if I'm not mistaken, it was Ms. Marvel, it was the Hulk or Bruce Banner. I forgot. There were like two more. They were featured at the end of the movie, and they were discussing about. Well, I forgot what they were discussing about, but
No, okay. I think what you're talking about is like it was a credit scene. It's like they showed up. They're talking about No, that was after Shang-Chi and the
oh,
Ten
that's the one that I
Rings.
was
The
thinking of.
credit scene is like they they are looking for Shang-Chi because he had these mysterious ten
Yeah, yeah,
rings,
yeah. Okay,
and
okay.
they're
Never
like
mind. Yeah, I was
they're
wrong movie.
trying to like identify like what is this and all that. It was like
Yeah,
something for an engine,
yeah. See how much I
some
know
kind
about Marvel?
of yeah, definitely. How much I don't know about Marvel. I think I'm pretty sure that might have led to the Eternals, which maybe, but I'm not so sure. So like, it might have had something to do with the Eternals, because it was like ancient in a way, like
Yeah, that'll make sense. So,
very strong. So,
but
by
yeah,
the way, you've seen the Eternals movie, right?
I don't think so. I'm not 100%
Really?
sure. I think
Oh,
not, actually.
oh, I guess I can't talk about that then.
Sadly, no.
So, yeah, that was just before we move on to DC. I just want to say some of the kids shows for Marvel. For example, the one of the first Marvel kid show I watched was I don't know Superhero Squad.
Oh yeah, I can recall Superhero Squad.
Oh man, I just love the theme song and all that. It was like Superhero Squad, hero up, super.
Yeah, I recall some of the episodes too, and one that really questioned me because I didn't understand the lore at the time was Silver Surfer being part of the group. Because when I originally knew him, he was the villain in Fantastic Four, and then I don't know like what happened.
I don't know. I don't think he was the villain. Well, it's been
Oh,
so
that's what
long.
I thought. I don't know.
It's been so long. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't say he was a villain. He was more like he appeared and he appeared there and he didn't really understand
the purpose.
how yeah. So the thing with Silver Surfer, it was like under trying to understand everything kind of situation, this
Was it like a rebirth of him, and then he's like trying to like regain his memories, or trying to like
I don't think it was regaining memories. It was more like trying to find the purpose in life and all that that kind of thing. So like
okay,
I don't really remember how the movie went with Silver Surfer. I know the movie you're talking about, but I don't
Rise of the Silver
you
Surfer.
yeah, Rise of the Silver Surfer. I have the movie too. So it's like
Oh,
but it's been too long since I've seen it.
okay,
So
I
like
don't blame you. I actually haven't seen the movie. I've seen the first Fantastic Four movie, but I haven't seen Rise of the Silver Surfer, so that was the reason why. I just
yeah.
assumed that he was in the title, so I just thought he was the villain. So I don't know for
Oh
so
yeah,
long.
I don't know. I might have to rewatch it.
Yeah, it was that too. And then my brother also had that video game Superhero Squad for the
I
PlayStation
knew
2.
it was a video game.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do remember that.
Do you have you owned it before or?
No, no, I haven't owned it, but I do remember there was a game about that. So,
Yeah, because I think the reason why is because again Spider-Man was on it, but he wasn't on the actual TV show. I think that was the reason why my brother got it in the first place.
all right. And the other kid show that I remember watching that I loved was it was called Avengers Mightiest Heroes, which was this cartoon on Netflix. How did the theme song go? Dun, dun, the world's about to move. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Avengers, assemble! So we will fight as one. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that's the the fact that I remember that the fact that I
Mascot.
remember that theme song, yeah, that was such one of my favorite
There we go.
Marvel kid shows I watched back then. It's not on Netflix no more, so I can't rewatch it.
I don't know, because for me personally, don't really watch shows on Netflix, so I don't know the show as much as you do. So because when it came from me, it was whatever was on TV during that
Yeah,
time.
like
Yeah.
Cartoon Network or
Yep. Exactly.
I
So
think the Superhero Squad was on Cartoon Network. It was. Yeah.
I forgot it was either that or Disney.
No, no, it was on.
It could have been. I don't remember. I
No,
remember.
no. At the time, I think it was on Cartoon Network.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, you guys know.
Yeah. Exactly.
You guys might know.
Because it wasn't just Superhero Squad, but my brother grew up with the Spider-Man series. I don't know which one it was called. I think it was The Amazing Spider-Man. It's not like the original one back in like 1960s or whatever. It's like I don't think it's the one with Drake Bell in it, but it's the one after him, if I'm not mistaken. That was the one that my brother watched, and I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting too. Like I saw a couple episodes. Like whenever he's exercising, he has an episode on the TV, just to like go back for his memories. It wasn't that bad. And then that's like pretty much all that I can recall is like stuff when it comes to like TV shows. Otherwise, when I continue to learn more about Marvel, it's through video games as well.
See, interesting. Now, so from what I'm looking at, it's already been an hour, surprisingly.
Wow.
And what I'm thinking is that even though today we were supposed to talk Marvel and DC, what we could do is we could have this one as Marvel DC Part 1, and then next episode
Oh,
that's when we
that's
can
true.
go straight to DC.
Yeah. Okay, I don't
So
think that's gonna be as long as our discussion here today for Marvel.
I feel like I can make it long. I can make
We
it
could
long.
try, yeah. Otherwise, if
So
not, then we'll see how far we could get.
kind of like how we're discussing our plan in front of it. But you know, it's fine. It's our podcast.
Exactly. We'll do what we will do, and then hopefully, since technically this episode is
This
like released a little later than our previous one, like it was over a week already, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, we could get part 4 in as soon as we can, so
No,
that we
not
can
part
continue.
4.
the
Episode
conversation.
2 or episode 4 part 2. So
Yeah, exactly. So this is the part 1, and then the next one's part 2. So for
that was our good old Marvel conversation. Talked a lot about the
yeah,
movies, which honestly, overall, they're good. They're
yeah,
good.
they're
If you haven't
great.
watched them,
You need to.
you need to watch it.
Spend a good solid week just binging all of the MCU movies. Like
Yes.
start, if I'm not mistaken, Iron Man, and
Do you
then
want to start chronological order, or you want to?
I think when the
I'd
movie's
say
first release. I don't know about you though.
the release is different.
Oh, it's different.
Is different from the
Oh,
chronological
okay.
order, but actually, I mean, they're similar, but there are a few differences. So
Okay, then that makes sense. Then yeah, maybe just go with like that.
like
The
so
how they would release it in the comics, I guess you could say, or like close to it. Or
no, not the comics. That one's entirely different. So
oh, okay.
you know what? Might as well just watch it in order of when they were released, and yeah, just watch it the when they were released.
Mhm.
Although like one movie, Black Widow, that one should have showed before like the whole Endgame thing, but
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me.
it was weird when they released it. I
Yeah, those are
think
the movies that you also need to keep an eye out for because it'll make sense by the time you actually start watching those bigger movies, especially with the Avengers.
yeah, it was a weird one. And then I guess you can watch some of the Marvel shows.
That's true. I
Actually,
don't
no,
think it's
no,
necessary.
no. Watch that after Endgame. Watch it after Endgame. That's what if you watch it before Endgame, the storyline's not gonna make sense at all, and you're gonna be
Yeah,
spoiled by something. So yeah, that was yeah. If you haven't watched it, watch the movies.
missing out.
Do it. Make it happen.
I thought you were gonna pull that Captain America scene at the end of that one Spider-Man movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. It was like on the box TV.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
that one.
remember kids, don't do this and so forth.
I thought you were gonna end the episode like that too.
I could,
You're
but
dressed up for the occasion,
well, I'm
man.
not Steve Rogers.
Oh my
I
gosh.
sound nothing like him, so I can't make it work. So
You never know,
uh,
right?
before we end it off, there's another Marvel hero that well, I don't know if say hero, but another Marvel character I would like to mention.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't, if you don't know who it is, Deadpool. Deadpool is such a played by
Ryan Reynolds.
by Ryan Reynolds. He's the perfect Deadpool. I can't imagine any other person that can play Deadpool
That's true.
other than him. It's so funny, and then the situations that he gets into, he just makes it a funny, great adventure.
He rocks the
Like,
character, honestly. It's
was
perfect.
I let's see. So like he has Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2. There's the Christmas one.
Hmm.
Well, pretty much was Deadpool 2. I think they're making another Deadpool movie.
I hope they are.
I just I don't know what the story is, but yeah, no doubt it's gonna be good.
Yeah, exactly. Because
So
every time a Deadpool movie releases, is hands down funny.
of course, I can't see it where it's not funny.
Hmm.
I even love the credit scene from I believe Deadpool 2 where he got this machine from one of the side heroes, Yoko or something like that, where he's able to go back in time and all that. Oh, it was Cable's machine kind of thing. But
Yep.
yeah, he was able to go back in time. He got rid of the Deadpool that was introduced in one of the
The
X-Men
original
movies.
X-Men
He
movie.
killed him.
That was
He
funny.
killed him. I don't know if there was another one. But then the one I really want to call out was when he pretty much killed himself, Ryan Reynolds, when before he was like volunteered to be the actor for Green Lantern.
Oh
That
my
movie, he
gosh.
kills him.
Oh my
So
gosh.
like the way it shows, it's like you got Ryan Reynolds. He's looking at the Green Lantern script. It's like okay, and then Deadpool just shoots him. And it's like yeah, not gonna happen. I love it so much. So funny.
Any fourth wall breaking stuff, like Deadpool is like hands down the king of it.
Oh my gosh, wait. Deadpool 3, I think it's going to involve Wolverine. I think they're saying something about Ryan Reynolds and Hugh
That would be amazing. I cannot wait then.
yeah. If I don't know if it's going to happen or if it's those are true facts. not facts, true statements and all that. But if it does happen,
I'm
I
down.
can't. I really
I'm
want to
definitely
watch.
down to watch it, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, that's such a great anti-hero doing the good and the bad at the same time, or both different times. But such a great guy, especially when you're in. It's not part of the MCU, but it's like the fact that the X-Men do show some X-Men do show up, like Colossal and Super Mega Sonic, that girl and all that. So it's so interesting. I want to see more of him interacting with some of the other X-Men and so forth.
Can you imagine that if that actually does happen, and then they're also involved with the battle with Kang later on?
Somehow, and I mean the fact that they're able to include Venom into the MCU and Spider-Man. So somehow I'm getting the X. If they remake either if they remake X-Men or find some way to include them and Deadpool into the Marvel cinematic, I don't know how long it'll take, but I feel like it might turn good. It might turn very good.
Yeah, I think it's promising, honestly. You just got to give it some time.
Yeah.
It may not be like as soon as possible,
It's
maybe around like 2030s or so.
we're both going to be old people, but we're
Exactly.
we're still going to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when we have our own families one day. Oh my gosh, and we're passing it to
Okay,
a newer
maybe
generation.
maybe not too far, but just when we're a lot older,
Oh my
we're
good
gonna be
gracious, that's gonna
past.
be interesting. But yeah, I think we should probably wrap up our conversation for today.
Yeah.
Or at least for now. So next
For
time,
now, for
yeah.
part one of Marvel or DC. Actually, no. Wait. Let me think about that.
Because today, technically, we only talked about the Marvel stuff.
We only talked about the Marvel aspect, but the DC aspect, however,
That's safe for another
we'll
time.
save it for the next episode.
Then next episode for sure, we'll talk about these.
Part two, next episode. So, yeah, that was some good talk about Marvel.
Yeah. And then hopefully you guys are able to join us in our conversations too. Like again, please don't judge us for what we think is right and wrong. Again, we're just voicing what we know.
We're just saying our knowledge, our opinion, and thoughts of these superheroes. Whether if we're right or wrong, we're just expressing how we feel, our thoughts about them, and our pretty much, yeah, that's our, what we know about them. So
Exactly. So, yeah, hopefully, again, you enjoyed today's episode. And again, you can find us in our social medias. I don't think we're going to release that yet, but hopefully, by the time when our podcast becomes more established, then we'll actually have our official pages for our social media accounts. For now, you can reach us out via email, or you could even message me or him, but mostly me.
or you could just comment in the comments, just.
Depending on who wants to say something too. So
And we still haven't had a comment yet, so
eventually down the line,
you
but
could be the very first person to comment.
exactly. It's a privilege.
Exactly.
Be first. That's it. Like we see in every single video we watch. First. In the comments.
Exactly.
You have that right, and we'll shout you out.
In the near future, we can have some kind of reward or something. Yeah, pretty much shout out or so forth. So,
Join us in December.
but
When we'll hold
that
our
depends.
celebration.
That depends. That depends. So, yeah, I think we can wrap this up.
Cool.
Wrap our Marvel, only Marvel, but
Yeah, Marvel
DC
today.
next episode. DC.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll turn out as a different hero than Captain Deadpool. Maybe I'll be like,
I'm just gonna remove this and just keep my cape on and just don my normal shirt and shorts next episode.
he's gonna be some kind of DC hero.
I wonder who.
Yeah, can't wait for next episode.
You're gonna
And
have to find out.
hopefully,
Stay tuned and find out.
yes, like, subscribe.
And join us next time when we'll be talking about the DC world.
Yes.
All right. That's awesome. All right. See you guys next time.
I see the weebs. Yeah.
Peace.
Gosh, wait. Okay.
Bye bye.